I will be explaining the topics with the help of slides. And after completion of the slides, I will be demonstrating a use case to you so that you will get to know how easily, without using any code, we can implement automation in Salesforce. Okay, so I hope you are able to see my screen. So we are going to discuss about Flow Builder. Before that, like Shelly already introduced me, so just to add on, like I just want to tell you, like I live in Jaipur, which is located in Rajasthan, India, and this picture is famous, like it is known as Hawa Mahal, which is located in Jaipur. So Jaipur is famous because of this place, and I'm famous because I work in Jaipur, and Jaipur is like Salesforce hub in India. Now, after this, like these things are already explained by Shelly. So, like I just founded Sanjay Gupta Tech School, where I'm providing training and coaching related to Salesforce. Currently, I'm working as a manager, learning and development in Sierra Cloud, which is based in Australia and India as well. I'm ex Salesforce employee, having 16 plus years of experience, which is mix of education and IT industry. And nowadays, I'm actively helping freshers and professionals to ramp their career in Salesforce ecosystem. So let's quickly jump to the topic. So this is very interesting topic, and whenever I get a chance to interact with folks, those are related to somewhere with Salesforce ecosystem. So I usually interact with them so that I can explain my knowledge, or I can share my knowledge with people. So if we talk about flow, so flow, whenever you heard flow, so you can just think about process automation. So in Salesforce, basically Salesforce provides you a CRM system, customer relationship management, where you can manage lots of data related to your customer. Now, if you have lots of data available in the org and you want to perform any automation basis on that data, so that automation you can do with the help of Flow. So we have other automation tools as well. I hope if you are working with Salesforce on any role, so you might have heard about workflow rule and process builder. So, like uh, to your knowledge, workflow rules and process builders have retired, and this year onwards, consultants won't be implementing solutions with the help of workflow rules and process builder. So, if you don't know coding and still you want to build automations, so you have only one option left, that is Lightning Flow. So Lightning Flow provides point and click automation tool, that is Flow Builder. So basically Lightning Flow is a product, and that product is having two tools through which you can implement automation. So one is Process Builder and second one is Flow Builder. So Process Builder is already retiring. So whenever you try to create any process through Process Builder, so you will see an option like better to implement this with the help of Flow Builder. So we have only one option left, that is Flow Builder. And if you don't know coding, still you want to build some solutions for your clients, so you have this option. So let's deep dive with this topic. So whenever you heard about Lightning Flow, so you just need to know in which scenarios you can implement that tool, or you can implement solution with the help of that tool. So these are some common problems or common use cases where you can think about Lightning Flow. So first is automate a guided visual experience. So for example, if you want to create a solution where you want to have a guided screens where you want to interact with your customer. So for example, if we take a feedback form, so if you want to create a feedback process where you want different screens should be having uh, different input values. So for that you can use screen flow. So now if we talk about flow, so flow is having five different types. So out of those five, one is known as screen flow. So if you want to create a guided visual experience, so for that purpose, we can use ScreenFlow. So in this session, after this theoretical discussion, I will be doing some hands-on with the ScreenFlow so that you can get to know how we can implement that. And other types of flows, maybe we will be covering in the upcoming webinar. So second is when a record is inserted, updated, or deleted. So I already told you in Salesforce, we play around data. So whenever you are creating any record, you are updating any existing record, or you are deleting a particular record. So on such operations, if you want to perform any automation, so that also can be done by Flow. And to be very honest, while implementing Flow, you don't need to write any line of code. Everything you just need to do through point and click. So there comes a difference between Flow and another tool that is Trigger. So Trigger is basically implemented with the help of code, and Flow is basically implemented with low code, like through point and click. So if we have any problem, so you have two options. Either you can choose Flow or you can choose Trigger, right? So how we can decide like which tool we can use, so it depends on the complexity. So if you have a complex problem, then you can go for Trigger. But if you have a less complex problem, then you can go with Flow, and you can simply implement a flow without writing single line of code. Next statement says to build more complex functionality as compared to Process Builder. So I think Process Builder is already retiring, so we only have the option to build flows. So this is very simple to understand. Next is if you want to schedule particular process so that you can apply some operation on existing data. So, for example, you have lots of data, like thousands or millions of records are available, and you want to schedule a process on daily or weekly basis to perform certain operations, right? So, those you can perform with the help of scheduled triggered flow. So, this is third type of flow. Then, if you want to call flow through Process Builder, then you can do that as well. So, for that, we have Auto-Launched Flow, and those auto launch flows can be called through Apex and Lightning components as well. So if you have created any flow, so you can integrate that flow with the help of Apex or Lightning component, right? So uh, like configuration and customization. Configuration means admin thing, and customization means whatever we do through code. So we can club together and we can build common solutions through both point and click and code as well, right? So if you know both the things, you can work together. If you know only, if you don't know code, so you can directly go for flow and you can just build the solutions. Now, after discussion related to these requirements, now let's take a look about the elements which are available with Flow. So, sorry, for interaction, we have screen, action, and subflow. So these are the elements which are available to create particular flow. So these we will see when I will be opening a particular flow so that we will be creating a solution with the help of flow. So you will see all these elements available there. So I will be comparing these elements while demoing you how we can build the flow. So here you can see it is divided in three sections. First is interaction, second is logic, and third is data. So if you don't know code and you are building a flow, still you need to apply business logic, right? Logic will be there, but you don't need to write code. So if you want to fetch existing data, if you want to update existing data, if you want to delete, so for that, this third section is available, right? If you want to apply some logic, like you want to assign some value from one variable to another variable, if you want to apply a condition through decision, so that can be done. If you want to apply a loop, so loop means if you want to uh, do some process repeatedly, so you can apply loop. And if you want to apply sorting, filtering, so all these options are available. But the advantage is you don't need to write any code for this. And for interaction, we have these three elements. screen, action, and subflow. So screen, I already told you, like it is related to screen flow. Then if you want to connect two flows, then you can use subflow option. So two flows can be connected. So like main flow will be executing initially, and then later on you can call another flow so that it can be connected. And action means if you want to send emails, if you want to send custom notifications, post to chatter. So these kind of actions you can perform with the help of this action element. So moving forward, then we have some resources that we can create. So like variables, constants, formula, text template, choice, record choice set, pick list choice set, and stage. So these are supporting resources that we can create inside Flow. So while creating Flow, we will be seeing like how we can create these. Not all, but few we will be creating. This is how Flow Builder looks like. Uh, Salesforce is upgrading Flow in each release. So Salesforce basically provides 3 releases in a year. So gradually they are upgrading their Flow. So this is just an example. So we'll see the upgraded Flow while we will be doing some demonstration. On left hand side, you can see interaction, logic, and data. These elements are available. Now, moving forward, we have 5 types of flow. I already told you. So we have screen flow, record triggered flow, schedule triggered flow, platform event triggered flow, and auto launch flow. So first three we use a lot. So there's a question, would it be possible to share your screen if you are going to do hands-on? Yeah. So I will be sharing the screen for whatever hands-on I will be doing. So before that, let's discuss each flow separately. So basically, if we take example of screen flow, so screen flow guides user through a business process. So we will be having different screens. So all the screens will be connected together, and on each screen you can provide some component through which you can receive inputs. So this screen flow demo I will be giving in this session so that you can experience that. And the created flow through screens we can place on lightning page. It can be home page, app page, or record page. We can place it on experience cloud sites, or we can launch flow through quick action or more. Like nowadays we can embed a lightning screen flow with lightning web components as well. So enhancements are going on. So you can use particular tool with another tool as well. Then if you want to do something on record creation, updation, and deletion, then you can pick record triggered flow. Then if you want to do some operation at certain time or frequency, then you can use schedule triggered flow. Then whenever a platform event message is received and you want to perform any operation, so basically platform event we generate through code, and through that, if any message is received, then you can just create platform event triggered flow, and that will be running in the background. And fifth one is auto launch flow. It is used less nowadays because we have record triggered flow. So earlier to record trigger flow, we used to have auto launch flow. So auto launch flow you can call through process builder, you can call it through Apex, REST API. But now, like we have record triggered flow, so many operations we can do directly through record triggered flow. But still, if you want to connect your flow with any other process, so you have this option as well in form of auto launch flow. So we can use. So now let's discuss the difference between process builder, flow builder, workflow, and approvals. So why we need to understand this still, because uh, workflow rules and process builders are retiring, but still they are available in the org, because in prior projects where process builder and workflow rules are already implemented, so you just need to know what operations or what task we can do through process builder and workflow, and what we can do through flow builder. And another automation is approval. So approval processes we can create. So these four automation tools are available, which we use through point and click implementation without any code. So there's a difference. Like if you see this table, so you can clearly see at top I mentioned process builder, flow builder, workflow, and approvals. And on left hand side, you can see the comparison on basis of what. So first is complexity. So on complexity basis, flow builder is the most complex. Others are simpler because in process builder, workflow, and approvals, you can have multiple if and else statements. So in process builder, you can have multiple. In workflow and approval, you can have single. But in flow builder, you can have beyond that as well, right? So you can apply any number of combinations in flow. So it is more complex as compared to other. Then if we talk about visual designer, so process builder and flow builder both provides you visual interface through which you can implement the solution. But in workflow, it is not available. Then supports time-based action. So three provides, but approvals doesn't. Then user interaction is provided through Flow Builder only. It is not provided by other tools. So user interaction means if you want to receive some input from user, so in Flow we have screen flow. So through that we can interact with user and we can just receive some data. And in the background we can perform some operations. Now starts when? So process builder starts when a record is changed. It is invoked by another process and platform event message is received. So these are, sorry, these are three reasons process builder will be initiated. Second is flow builder. So whenever you are creating any flow, so flow can launch through button click. Like if you have created any screen flow and you have connected that flow with any button. So if you click on the button, so you can launch that particular flow. Then you can access flow through Lightning page, community page, Visual Force page, or custom tab. So again, that flow should be screen flow. Then you can place your flow in the utility bar as well. So utility bar is available at the bottom of your application. Then whenever a process starts, epics is called or record is created, updated, or deleted. So these you can thought about like record trigger flow or auto launch flow. So for number six, you need to implement record trigger flow. And for number four and five, you need to implement auto launch flow. And next we have workflow. So workflow basically calls whenever a record is changed. So this is the only option your workflow rule will be working. And last we have approvals. So whenever user clicks button, process or flow starts. So you can launch approvals through flow as well. And Apex is called. So these are some options through which you can initiate approval processes. Now let's discuss difference based on supported actions. So these are the actions, and we need to see whether it is supported by particular tool or not. So call Apex code. So you can see yes or no is mentioned, then create record, invoke processes, delete records. So basis on action, which tool can perform or which cannot. So everything is written over here. So if we go to next slide, so you can see other options are available, which are actions like launch a flow, post to chatter, send email, send outbound messages without code. So all these actions we can perform through Flow. Earlier, this outbound message option was not available with Flow, but in last release, Salesforce provided that feature as well. That's why, like we can say, workflow rule can go away because earlier this outbound message option was available with workflow rule only. Now it is available with Flow. So we can do everything. Then we have a few more actions: submit for approval, update fields, custom notification, quick action, and quip. So all these actions we can perform through Flow Builder. So most of the things we can do through Flow Builder. That's why it is popular. And all the admins uses Flow Builder as a tool, and even developers who are like doing custom implementation through code, they also uses Flow as per the business requirement. So it depends on the architect who is associated with the project, like what tool we need to use. And sometimes client also suggests like we want only declarative solutions, we don't want code solutions. Then also you can go with the Flow. Okay, so this is about the theoretical stuff. Now I'm just moving to do some hands-on. So I will demo you how we can implement a screen flow so that we can just understand different elements those are available. So to create a flow, you can search flow here in the setup. If you click on the flow option, so here at top right corner, you will find this button, new flow. If you hit that button, so you can see these options are available. And this is the newer option which is available here. It was not available in the slide. So it launches when a record is created or updated, and Orchestrion lets you create a multi-step or multi-user process. I also didn't explore this because it is provided by the latest release. So I will also do some hands-on with this. So you can see like Salesforce is upgrading their flow builder so that we can do a lot more things with this tool. So right now I'm just selecting screen flow and I clicked on create. So here you can see this is Flow Builder where you can create your flow. Here we have two options, auto layout and free form. So by default, auto layout is selected. So here this Flow Builder will be managing all the directions. But if you want to like have your own directions, so you can just click on free form. So you can see all the elements are available here. Now, what you need to do, you just need to drag and drop them if you select free form. But if you select auto layout, so in that case, on left hand side, nothing will be available. You just need to click on plus, and here you will be having these options. So options are same, but the implementation approach is different. In auto layout, like all the lines, flow lines will be managed by the flow builder itself. But if you select freeform, then you just need to manage those lines. So generally, we prefer auto layout. But if your flow is complex and you are unable to manage it, which is provided by flow builder, flow lines, so you can just have freeform layout, and you can just drag and drop the elements anywhere. So now I'm going to create a screen. And so the purpose of creation of this flow, so let's understand the requirement as well. So if I go to any application, right now sales application is open, and if I click on home, so you can see on home page these components are available. Now, as a business requirement, there is a requirement which says on home page, I want a component through which I can receive information about a contact. Contact means contact record, which is available under this tab. So if we try to create any contact, so we just need to provide that contact's first name, last name. We can provide account name, email, mobile, phone, title, loan amount. These fields are available, right? So we will be picking few fields which are common, but I won't be creating contact from here. I just want a requirement like there should be a component here on the home page. And if I fill the information on that component, so a record should be created under Contacts tab. A record should be created under this Contacts tab, but through home page. So this requirement can be accomplished in two ways. One, you can implement Flow. Another, you can create a Lightning Web component, right? So, in my opinion, Flow would be easy as compared to Lightning Web component because that will require custom implementation. So, Flow will be the easiest solution for this. So, now I'm going to implement this solution for you. Okay, so I'm just repeating the steps. So, I'm just clicking on this plus sign and I'm selecting the screen option. Now, from left, I'm going to select text and I'm just clicking here, right? So here you can see I can just provide the label like first name here on right hand side, and API name is populated by default. So it is the unique name. Then again, I'm clicking on this text component, and this I'm using for last name. Again, one more text. This is for email, right? And if you want to make any field required, so you can just enable this checkbox, right? So these three components are available here, and I'm just clicking on done. So you can see it is throwing an error. So I just need to click on this invalid screen option, and like it is saying, so whenever you miss some information, so this way you will be getting the error message. So along with component labels and API, we need to provide label and API to particular screen as well. So I'm naming it as contact info, right? So this is label and API of this screen. If you click on this header part, and if you click on this component, so you will see its label and API name. Each component is having different label and API. So this way, this is configured. Now, if I click on done, so it will be available here like this. So you can see flow lines are managed automatically because we have selected auto layout, right? Now, once this information is available, so what we want to do, we want to create a contact record. Okay. So again, just click on plus, and this time you just need to jump to data section. And here we can select this create record element. So we just need to provide a label like create contact, then API name. Then it is asking how many records to create. So we need to create one record. So one is by default selected. Then how to set the record fields. So we have two options: use all values from a record or use separate resource and literal values. So we have values in separate resources like first name, last name, and email. All three values are available in three different components. So I'm selecting the second option. Now from here, I'm selecting contact as object because I just need to create a record for contact. So here, once I selected contact object, so you can see now I can set the values to particular field. So first of all, I'm searching for first name. So on left hand side, these fields are related to your object, and right hand side, the value which you want to assign is available in the screen component. So this right hand side value is your screen component, and left hand side is your field that is available under the object. Then I'm selecting last name. Then from here also I'm selecting last name. Then I'm adding the field as email, and from here I'm selecting email. So all three screen components will be assigning their values to respective fields. If you want to add more fields, you can click here and you can add more fields as well. Then I'm clicking on done. So this way we just created two elements. So one is uh, like having information from user, that is a screen, and another is like it will be running in the background so that a contact can be created. Okay. Once it is done, so here at top right corner, you can see we have a save button. So we just need to click here, and I'm labeling it as create contact through homepage. And if you want to write some description, you can, and just click on save. Now, before placing this flow on the home page, we have one more option how we can just test whether it will be working fine or not. So we have this debug button. So if you click on this button, so your flow will run in the debug mode. So debug mode is basically allow you to test whatever you have implemented. So just click on run here. So here you can see your screen is available. You have first name, last name, and email. And if you don't fill last name and just click on next, you will see an error message. Okay, so this way you can make the fields required. So I'm just filling my name. Now, if you click on next, so whatever you provided here in the screen, you will see that information on right hand side. So here you can see the name I provided, Sanjay, last name Gupta, and in email I provided this information, email ID. So it is available here. Then I just clicked on next button. So step by step, it is showing the navigation. Then we have create record. So create record, we just created a contact. So here you can see the assignment of values, email, first name and last name. And then you can see a record is ready to be created when the next screen pause or local action is executed or when the interview finishes. So this whole process is basically known as an interview. So it is finished, and here you can see we have a ID. So this is a contact ID, contact record ID, because it is starting from 003. So the ID which starts with 003, it is representing a contact. So what you can do, just copy it, and you can go to contacts, and you can directly see contact is available here. If you want to open it, so what you can do, for example, if any other contact is open, so here we don't have any contact, so new this week. Okay, no worries. If you place your ID here, like if your any particular record is open which is related to contact, so what you can do, just replace this ID with the new ID, and your record will be opened. So always remember whenever we debug any flow, so whatever records you want to create, update, or delete, so actually it is happen it performs in the org as well, right? So it means our flow is working fine. We tested it, record is being created. Now we can just activate it. So once your flow is activated, now you can place it on the home page. So you just need to click on home. Now you can click on this gear icon and then click on edit page. So here you will see app builder will be opened. So all the components are visible here. Now on top left in the search section, you just need to search for flow. And here you just need to drag and drop the flow, right? Here I dragged and dropped the flow. If I click on this flow element, this flow component, so it will show me the list of available flows here, right? So I have this flow, create contact through homepage, which we created just now. So we need to select it, right? and you can just click on save. Go back to home page, and if you scroll down, so here you can see our flow is available. Now, if I provide another information, so if I click on next, so here you can see uh, as I provided the information and clicked on next. So in the background, a record is created. Now, how to verify whether record is created or not? So just click on contact. So here you can see two records are available, right? So this way we validated like this flow is working fine, and we just placed it on the home page and it is working correctly. Now, if you want to do some modifications in the flow and those modifications you want to apply in the flow, so what you can do, just update your flow and click on save as, then activate, and then refresh your page. So whatever changes you do in your flow in the background, those changes will automatically reflect wherever you have used that flow. So you don't need to place that flow again and again. You just need to refresh your page, and whatever changes you have applied to your flow, it will be reflecting here automatically. Now let's do some more implementation here. So I'm going to add one more screen, and I'm going to label it as ask file upload. And from here, I'm going to have a checkbox. Okay. So this screen will be receiving upload a file, like do you want to upload a file or not? So if you want to if you want to write it like this, do you want to upload a file? So just erase it, click above, and it will be populated automatically. So this way it will look like a question, and if you check this checkbox, it means you want to upload a file, otherwise not. So this is our another screen. So I just clicked on done. So in between these two elements, I added one more. And you can see we have selected auto layout. So everything is managed automatically. Now, if user check this checkbox, it means we need to upload a file, otherwise not. So how to check whether this checkbox is checked or not? So for that, you can have an element which is decision. So here label is check file upload option. And here I can write checked. So we need to create outcomes. Outcomes means we need to create flow lines like whether it is checked or unchecked. So here in this situation, we can have two flow lines, right? So one is for checked, and how we can verify it is checked. So you can just have this screen component that we created. Do you want to upload a file? Equals, then you can search true. Then click on plus, unchecked. And here again, you can search for do you want to upload a file equals false. So we have two outcomes. One is checked and another one is unchecked. In unchecked, we are just having this component equals true. And in unchecked, we are checking it for false, right? So here you can see we have three directions. One is for checked, one is for unchecked, and one is default. So default we can ignore, it is having nothing. We just need to focus on checked and unchecked. So if it is checked, so you just need one more screen here, and its label will be file upload. And here you can search for file upload option. It will be available here. Now you can write API name, upload a file, then what label you want. So it will be upload a file. So you can see it is reflecting here. Then once you upload a file, so you might want this file to be linked with the contact because you are uploading a file while creating a contact, right? So we just need this related record ID. What we need? This related record ID, like with which record this uploaded file should be related. So right now I'm just clicking on done and I'm going to, okay, now you see these three directions. So if it is checked, so file upload will happen. If it is unchecked, then it will directly go to this create record. Okay. Now we need ID here, right? With which this file will be related. But we are creating record here. So we need to shift this file upload after this. Okay. And I think this upload file check, this decision I need to shift after this create record. So now we need to do some shifting. So how we can do that? If you want to shift this element from here to above, so you can just click and select cut element. And after cut, you can just paste it here. So this way it is shifted easily. Okay. Now in this create record, you just need to check this manually assign variables. And here you can create a variable. So if you remember, we talked about the resources. So we talked about the resources like variable, constant, formula. These are the resources. So right now I'm going to create a resource as variable. So if I click on new resource, so here you can see all the resource type are available. So I'm selecting variable. Variable name I am writing as contact ID. Data type is text and then done. So what will happen here? Whenever a contact is created through this create record element, that created contact's ID will be stored in this variable automatically. So I hope it makes sense. So I'm just repeating. Whenever a contact is created with these values, so the newly created contact ID will be stored in this variable automatically. Now here we can just use that contact ID here in this related record ID. So what will happen? The file which you will be uploading, it will be related to this contact. And I'm just clicking on done. Now I just modified this flow. So I'm clicking on save as. Save as will create new version. If you want to create net new flow with the changes, so you can go and change this option and type the name, you can do. But generally we create a new version. So here you can just click on save. Now you can directly activate. And if you go to home page, so you just need to refresh. So again, I'm just going to provide some information. So once I click on next, you will see one more screen. Do you want to upload a file? Right? And if I say yes, so it will ask file upload. It will show file upload option so that I can upload a file. So if I, sorry, if I click here and if I select any option, click on open, So file is getting uploaded. I can just click on done and finish. Now, if we go here on under the context, so this record is created, and under the related list, under notes and attachment, you will see that file. So it is related automatically because we used that contact ID variable. So again, I'm repeating. So we created contact ID variable here, which will store the newly created contact ID. And that ID we used here under the file upload component. So once you upload a file, so that will be related to this contact automatically. And if you leave that checkbox unchecked, so contact will be created, but it won't ask you to upload a file. It will automatically go to this direction, right? So I hope this makes sense, whatever I just demonstrated. If you want to have more options, so you can just open the screen and you can see lots of components are available. So as per the requirement, you can pick and you can just upgrade your flow to have more options. So let's take one more example. So we can have lookup. So like while creating contact, if you want to, yeah, Nikhil is asking, can we show a toast on successfully creating contact record? No, here we cannot because it is uh, like standard implementation. So you cannot show toast message. Uh, it is not possible here. It can be done through custom implementation. Corey is asking how to assign record type. Yeah, so if you want to assign record type, so you just need to fetch record type ID and then you can assign record type. So next is how to hide duplicate data from lookup filter. So I think that is not possible. Those things we cannot do here because this is a lookup functionality and these properties are available here which you can set. So you cannot hide duplicate values. Okay. So you can do one thing. You can use get record element. You can fetch the data, right? You can just remove the duplicate ones from that collection. And then you can use record choice set. And through that, you can just show the data. But if you want to use this standard lookup functionality, so I don't think we can remove duplicates. So here I am just going to write API name as account name. Okay, field API is account ID. So I think everybody knows contact and account has a relationship between them. Account is on parent side and contact is on child side. And on contact, we have a lookup created lookup field, and its API name is account ID that I'm using here. Label I am using as account name, which will show here. Then object API is contact, and I think rest we can leave as is. And I just clicked on done, so you didn't have access to this. Okay. Actually, what I did, I just wrote it in small letter. It is case sensitive, so that's why it was giving error. Now it is correct. So Through here, we will be able to select particular account, and here under create contact, we can just link both. So account ID, which is available on contact, and the selected account. So through screen, we use this lookup account name. So just click on this and then select the record ID. So this way, the selected account's record ID will be assigned into this account ID. So the newly created contact will be related to particular account automatically, right? So this way you can use lookup on your screens as well. Okay. So Sakshi is asking, can you please write the approach in the chat? So it will be a lengthy process. So I think maybe I can share that later on because I need to draft the steps. So, like I think now we can take question and answer. So, if you have any other question, so we can take. Otherwise, meanwhile, I'm just saving it again. I'm applying save as and activating this so that we can check whether lookup is working fine or not. So, moving to home and doing a refresh. So here you can see account lookup is available, but there is no record because I think account is not having any record. Yes. So there is no record. Okay, there is records. So maybe we can search this one there. Yes. So you just need to search why records are not available, because if you go to accounts in recently viewed, there is no record. And generally this lookup shows the recently viewed records, right? So now if I view any record, so if I go to accounts, all accounts, so let's say I am just opening this one. So I just recently viewed this, so it will be available here. Now it will be available here as well. So you can see. So all the recently viewed records are available here. Otherwise, you can just search. So if I search like this, press enter, so it will give me suggestions, right? So if you remember any text that is available in the account name, so you can just type and search. Okay. Yeah, so Ujjwal, I already used if else condition in Flow. So if else condition means like we can have these branches, and if you want to apply more conditions, you can have further decisions. Like if you want to have decision here, so you can just click and have it. So this way you can apply any number of decisions anywhere. But you need to build proper logic for that. So you need to think programmatically. So again, if you are implementing Flow, so you are not writing code, but still you are applying some logic. So you need to think like a programmer. So it is not so easy. Like if I say you don't need to write code, so don't think you don't need to apply brain as well. You need to apply brain how things will be working, what step should be in what sequence your step should be. So you saw like in initial implementation, this create contact was at the bottom. Then I realized I need to shift it to above. So this way you need to think programmatically while implementing flows. So Ujjwal, your answer to your question is yes, we can. Yeah. So Atish is asking, what if I am having multiple flows on a single object? Will that be a best practice approach? So that is not a good practice, but sometimes if you have complex requirements, so it is not possible to implement everything in a single flow. So for that purpose, you just need to break down your flows, and you can create multiple flows. So if you want to maintain the sequence, so first thing that can be done through record trigger flow only, right? And if you want to maintain their sequence, so you have this flow trigger explorer. So here all the record trigger flows will be listed, and you can just manage their sequence here. So we have this order option. So you can just click on edit order, and you can just drag and drop flows in any order. Yeah, so limitations for that, you can search for the official document limit on flows in Salesforce. So they keep on updating. So that's why I'm not sure what is the latest limit. So general flow limits, if you open this document, so here latest limits will be available. So always whenever you need to know the limits, just rely on the official Salesforce document. So here you can see the limits. So these are the limits through which you can go through, right? So as I already told you, Salesforce is upgrading their product, Lightning Flow. So they are doing lots of changes. So this document is basically related to Flow Builder guide. So here everything is available, and these limits are official. So you can just rely on these. Any more questions? If not, then we are on time, so we can wrap. So if there is no question, so over to you, Shelly. Sajawat, so we'll try to have example on platform event in next session.
Thank you everyone for joining, and thank you Sanjay for conducting the webinar. We'll continue more about the Salesforce flow in our next webinar, which is on January 25th. So please everyone do sign up for it, and please do follow us on LinkedIn and subscribe to our YouTube channel for the latest update. Goodbye for now. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.